The scream tore through the summer haze, sharp and jagged, like a blade slicing bone. It wasn't my wife's voice, not the way I knew it. It was raw, primal, the kind of sound that stops your heart before your brain catches up. I was halfway out of my truck engine, still growling, when I saw her, Mara, 5 months pregnant, slumped on the porch, one hand clutching her belly, the other braced against the steps. Blood streamed from her nose, staining the welcome mat she'd picked out last spring. My brother-in-law, Nate, stood frozen in the doorway, a trowel in one hand, a half-eaten granola bar in the other, his jaw slack like he'd just seen a ghost. "Mara," I said, crouching beside her, my voice steady but my pulse hammering. "Talk to me." She blinked, wincing, as her left eye began to swell. "They came to warn us." She raised about the lawn, said they were HOA. One pushed me. My eyes flicked to the clipboard on the steps, neat and official, titled Compliance Violation Form 113 SOE. The offense, our grass was too tall, a violation of visual harmony standards. I clenched my fists until my knuckles widened. Visual harmony. There was nothing harmonious about the blood on her shirt. I'm Caleb, former Army, trained to keep calm when the world goes to hell. But seeing Mara like that, bruised and bleeding on our own porch, something inside me snapped. Not rage, not yet, but a cold surgical focus. The HOA president, Vivian Halt, had been a thorn in our side since we moved to Willow Creek. Her flyers about community pride were thinly veiled threats. Comply or pay 2 weeks ago, Mara had laughed off, one joking that our wildflower garden was growing faster than our baby. Now she was hurt because we hadn't mowed the damn lawn. I helped Mara to the couch, iced her face, and checked her breathing. She waved me off, her humor intact despite the trimmer in her hands. "You should see the other guy," she mumbled. I didn't smile. "We're getting you checked," I said, glancing at her stomach. "For the baby," she nodded, already calling her doctor. Nate stepped out, still chewing like nothing had happened. "Grass is a bit tall," he muttered, eyeing the yard. "Knee, maybe." I stood, every muscle coiled. "This isn't about the grass," I said flatly. "It's about Vivian." The clipboard's fine print was a gut punch compliance team encountered. Resistance minimal, force applied minimal. I cracked the plastic in my grip. Nate tapped his phone, porch cams down, birds nested on it. "I'll check the side yard." He found a name, one of Vivian's goons, a strip mall security guard posing as a compliance officer. Fake muscle Vivian was hiring intimidation now, and they'd targeted Mara to send a message 14 hours later. Vivian struck again. Nate handed me her complaint, filed with the county and sheriff, accusing me of hostile behavior and military-grade intimidation tactics. 3 fake signatures backed her claim, and a box was checked for temporary detainment pending mediation. She wasn't just spinning a story. She was building a cage. An unmarked cruiser pulled up that afternoon. 2 deputies stepping out. The older one, weary but sharp, asked about alleged threats. The younger one, all buzz-cut and bravado, recited lines like he'd rehearsed them. I went with him, calm, controlled, refusing to give Vivian the optics she wanted. They sat me in a gray room, no clock, just a buzzing light and a camera's unblinking eye. 90 minutes of silence designed to make me crack. I didn't. I've waited in worse places with higher stakes. When the older deputy returned, he carried a file and a water bottle. "No record of trouble," he said. "So why am I here?" He glanced at the mirror. "Sometimes it's about ticking boxes to avoid a lawsuit." I leaned forward. If I wanted to intimidate anyone, they wouldn't be writing reports, they'd be writing wheels. He froze. I didn't blink. "You're free to go," he said. "No charges." But Vivian's complaint was locked. Nate picked me up, handed me coffee, and asked about Mara. "Baby's fine." I said, "She's pissed I didn't punch someone." He grinned. "That's love." But I wasn't smiling. Vivian had baited me, and I played along now. It was my turn. Mara was waiting at home with a manila folder. 38 HOA complaints against our property over 6 years, most worded identically, some threatening liens. The previous owner hadn't moved. He'd been pushed out. Nate hacked into Vivian's emails and HOA roster, uncovering her shell company, Stonefield Ventures, LLC. She wasn't enforcing rules. She was flipping houses, targeting vulnerable residents with violations to tank property values, then buying cheap. We turned her game against her. I walked Vivian Street, clipboard in hand, documenting her own violations: a too tall fountain, a shed too close to the fence, a light glaring into a neighbor's window. I filed complaints using her exact templates. Her own words, Mara sent open records requests and neighbors responded with stories of harassment. We printed flyers at 2 a.m., bold and unapologetic. Did you sell after an HOE violation? Was it followed by a kind offer to buy? We listed Vivian's signature on citations. Stonefield's ownership transfers and an anonymous email for tips by dawn, 83 mailboxes, and the community bulletin board were covered. Neighbors tore some down, others pocketed them like secrets. The inbox exploded. A widow wrote of 3 citations in a weak noise. A flag a tree followed by offers to buy. I cried when I signed the sale. She said, I thought I was crazy. Mara built a timeline across 2 walls. Nate mapped Stonefield's network. I photographed every infraction on Vivian's property. We posted a teaser online, if your house was next. Wouldn't you want to know the local forum? Erupted, why is my house listed? Who is Vivian Holt? One post read, she forced us out during my husband's chemo. Vivian's mask was cracking. She retaliated with a citation for community-wide slander via our flyers. Nate laughed, spilling coffee. She's citing us for the truth. Then we saw her power grab an HOA website update declaring emergency authority consolidation. She'd crown herself dictator. We uploaded everything, documents, testimonials, Vivian's voice on a call, ordering our porch vandalized. Mara recorded a video. Calm and cutting, no clause allows the president to suspend due process. This isn't a neighborhood, it's a regime. The subreddit went wild, digging up Vivian's college expulsion and unpermitted home additions at the HOA meeting. The community center buzzed with tension. Vivian walked in, clipboard clutched like a shield, but her posture was off defensive. She opened with a gaslight, certain residents have endangered unity. Mara stood, did that include cutting our power lines? Nate played the video, Vivian's voice clear as day, ordering our gates smashed. A reporter stood, is that you? Miss Hold, her face collapsed. I dropped a folder on the table axe. Records, fake orders, contractor payments. 3 neighbors confirmed your voice. I said one's pressing charges. An elderly neighbor, Mrs. Harper, called for a no-confidence vote and shot up even from Vivian's allies. She walked out, leaving her clipboard behind. Vivian vanished, but not for long at 2:11 a.m. Our lights died, no storm, just sliced cables. Tires crunched gravel as a silver SUV smashed our gate. 2 men stepped out, boots and gloves, one with a tattoo matching the enforcers who trashed Mrs. Harper's yard. The leader looked past me straight at Mara and said her name. My vision narrowed, I slammed into him. His laugh cut short as he hit the ground, spitting blood. That all you got, soldier? He taunted, Mara's voice. Stop me. Caleb, enough. They left a note next time. I won't knock. The sheriff shrugged it off as bold contractors. I wasn't thinking about contractors. I was thinking about blood. We didn't sleep, Mara curled by the door. I sat, jaw clenched, tasting copper. I saw your face before you hit him. She said that wasn't anger. I nodded. I wanted him gone. She knelt before me. That's not you, but it was close, too close. I sketched a plan. Incite panic with a grievance leak to the press trigger. Vivian's ego with an audit and trap her at the next meeting. Mara filed the grievance. Nate built the press packet I delivered, the audit motion. Vivian emerged pacing by the clubhouse. Phone in hand, panic in her eyes. The final meeting was electric. Vivian tried to control the narrative, but we were ready. Nate played the video again. Mara called her a predator. Mrs. Harper moved to dissolve the HOA. The vote was unanimous. Vivian's empire crumbled. Her accounts were frozen, Stonefield subpoenaed. We rebuilt the porch, replanted the garden. Mara laughed again, her boots still on, but her steps lighter then. I found a letter in the mailbox, no stamp typed in caps. You forgot the camera. Nate traced it to Vivian's shell. Companion final echo, burned in our fire barrel. Vivian's gone, her power gutted, her name, poison. But I know she's out there waiting for the light to fade. I used to think we're ended with the last shot now. I know it ends with peace, the kind you earn by flipping the board and building something untouchable. If anyone like Vivian comes again, they won't get a warning.